All right. Hi guys. Hi Judge. How are you?
Hello there.
All right. So we're trying to do something different. Pre-record shows. We usually last week we pre-recorded the Thursday Man Up show and I premiered it later on that evening. And we usually don't do shows on Monday unless it's on Twitter Space, but you wanted to come and you wanted to do a special show to talk more about Gangsta Boo, the rapper out of Memphis, Tennessee, who recently passed away January the 1st. So it's like, yeah, we could do 1 hour and talk about her. I want to talk a little bit about Lizzo. And of course, I want to talk about,
Lizzo.
we'll get to that in a minute. But of course, I need to talk about Prince Harry, honey, and the book, The Spare, because it's dropping January the 10th, tomorrow, Tuesday. And he was on 60 Minutes this past Sunday and it was juicy. So I have some clips with that. Also, hopefully,
Really?
hmm?
Really?
Yes, really. So this is a pop culture show today. Hopefully you have time. We could do a 1 hour pre-record tomorrow or something. Because the YSL trial started today, I believe. But I want to give you a little bit more background on that. Because I definitely want you to comment on YSL trial. But anyway, all right, guys. Welcome. I don't even know what to call it. It's like, yeah, Man Up Show. Welcome to the Man Up Show. Before
This is not a man up show with the subjects we have. But anyway, the man up man is here, but
you're
I've had
always
my listed.
you can always implement man up values no matter
Yes, I
the
try.
topic. Um, before we get into it, jjb2023.com.
Go there and you can contribute or support or find out the latest thing going on. And we're starting calendars. So if you want to find out what we're up to, you can go to the site and starting shortly, there will be policy posts about economics, law enforcement, character developments, things like that.
Send Brown downtown. So yes, go to the
Take that
website.
down.
Go to the website. Sign up so you could be up to date with everything that's going on, and of course, donate. Um, And just a little FYI, I have on my gym clothes because I'm going to the gym today. So yeah. But all right, let's get into it. Gangsta Boo. So let me just do a quick background. So her real name is Lola Chantrell Mitchell, better known as her stage name Gangsta Boo. She was an American rapper, a trailblazer for women in the southern hip hop scene, and she rose to prominence as a member of the 3 6 Mafia, which she joined at the age of 16. She was part of that music group from 1995 to 2001. Born 1979 in Memphis, Tennessee, passed away January 1st, 2023 in Memphis. Tragic death. They're saying that most likely was a fentanyl overdose. Her funeral is set for this coming Saturday in Memphis. But we touched on it briefly last week, but you said to me over the weekend that you have personally a connection with her, Gangsta Boo.
Yes, I discovered that my niece had been something of a mentor for her. My niece is a bit older than she is. And if I understand things correctly, the contact came when my niece was managing Isaac Hayes' restaurant. It was in a venue known as Peabody Place some years ago. And the individual kind of was regretful for choosing the moniker of Gangsta Boo. And on my niece's suggestion, started trying to change it to Lady Boo. And I think if you look at some of the last stuff she put out, she was going by Lady Boo rather than Gangster Boo. And the message in that is be careful what you put yourself into early on because it has a bad habit of following you through life.
Right.
Now, I was told by my niece that the late entertainer was a nice person who meant well and got caught up in some things with portraying the imagery that went along with the rap thing and wasn't necessarily pleased with it later in life. So let's see what happens. The Memphis Police Department, through its detective bureau, is usually pretty thorough.
Mm-hmm. Is that,
Usually. So let's see what happens.
is that somebody talking in the background?
That might be, yes, somebody out in another room. I think my niece walked back in the house. She was over here cleaning for me. So
Uh,
that might be what we're listening to in the background.
yeah.
But
Can she go in another room? Because
hold on.
I don't
She
want
is
to hear her
another,
conversation.
she is in another room. Hold on.
Um, so the Rap Against the Boo funeral will be held Saturday, January the 14th, and they're saying those who want to attend must download a free ticket from Eventbrite. So it will be tickets, and I guess it's going to be open to the public. Her service will be held at the Brown Baptist Church in South Haven, Mississippi, from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. The service will then open to the public. The service will be open to the public. There will also be a celebration of her life held for the late rapper. It would take place on Friday, January the 13th at the Rail Garden from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Um, yeah, so they're saying that the investigation into her death continues. So I don't know if they gave a final conclusion on how she died. Was it substance abuse? But I wasn't familiar with her growing up because when she was a rapper with 3 6 Mafia, I never heard of her. Um, but that I wasn't into the Western Southern music like that. In 95, 2001, I was heavy into what was going on in the New York scene because that's when New York hip hop was like very, very popular before the South really popped off. But again, just being a woman in the hip hop entertainment, she is a trailblazer. She helped pave the way for the Megan Thee Stallions, the Lottos, and all the city girls, and especially women from the South, but just women rappers in general. So, I think she should be saluted and remembered.
Yes, and also it seems from what I'm getting back in terms of reports, she wanted to try and to an extent make up for the negativity and do something positive, but that didn't seem to, she didn't get enough time to do that. So, one of the things that I listened to her music in the last couple of days, somebody directed me to it or to her performances or recordings. And one of the things I'd have to note is, are people that damn unhappy? I hadn't been paying that much attention to this hip hop thing. It doesn't really sound like something you'd party to, even though the beat might let you dance to it. It's really kind of sad what's being talked about. It's almost depressing.
I like that you said that because you're right. If we actually listen to the lyrics, because a lot of times I gravitate towards a song because of the beat. But then if you actually slow it down and you listen to the lyrics, a lot of people do pick up the lyrics and it speaks to a lot of people, but you realize that, okay, if this person is rapping about depression or something negative, something that they experience, and thousands and millions of people can relate, then you ask yourself the question, okay, what is going on in society, especially with the youth?
Well, not so much with her, but just with the genre. I remember well stuff that I could hear when I was 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 16 years old, long, long time after that. Still do.
Mm-hmm.
And to an extent, what I listened to along with the beat, it was admonition, enjoyment. There was a little
Mm-hmm.
depressive stuff, but usually it was somebody fell out of love with somebody, and that always got reconciled with it's better to have loved than law and lost than to have never loved at all. But essentially, most of it was positive. But I think now, I said, what kind of negativity is right down
It's
there
like
on
they went from talking
subconscious
about
level?
love. Yeah, they went from talking about love to talking about what's going on in the streets, selling drugs, killing, and whole bitch or
Yeah,
whatever, or sex.
for the next 60 years, you're supposed to have that subconscious negativity nagging at you,
Mm-hmm.
without you realizing it. It's pretty disturbing. So,
Right.
not
Right.
talking about her per se,
Right.
but just genre. It's never anything that's uplifting being talked about.
Mm-hmm.
And what is putting approval is moving grams, you know, taking advantage of somebody, oppressing somebody, holding somebody down, getting held down, getting jacked around. And it's like, come on.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is not inspirational stuff. And if you take it as inspirational, you know, what in the world?
Because you will agree that music fills the soul. So if you're talking about revolution and pro-black, or if you're talking about love, you're talking about heartbreak, if you're talking about what was that name of that group? The optimistic, I forgot. It was a group, but it's like there was like a choir, and they came out with this song, had to be in the early 2000s, late 90s. Um called The Optimistic, but it was a group of all of them were former addicts, whether it was alcohol or drugs, and they all could sing, and they created a group, and they talk about positive, uplifting music. And the popular song was Optimistic, and I forgot the name of the I can't believe I forgot the name of it. But my point is what you embrace, through a song and how it makes you feel, you take on that type of energy. Or if it's already been there, it manifests it more.
Is it really a song that you're listening to?
What do you mean?
There are singers and then there are rappers. Sometimes they're both the same, but rap is not the same as a song. Rap is, to an extent, poetry to some music, but the people that are doing the poetry are not doing the music. And the music is not so much a live band or live musicians doing the music. It's
That song
recorded,
that I'm
sample something. There's a board that somebody is working.
Mhm.
And I note the difference because I do occasionally go to an adult club, and there are musicians in there that I've known for 50 years, 45 years, 40 years that have been playing and have gotten so proficient at the instruments. And then I listen to some of the rap stuff, and okay, they have the rhymes, but there's nobody involved in the immediate production that is taking the time to learn how to play an instrument. Now, if they
Yes
also
and no. Yes and no. And actually, so that song Optimistic, it was by the group Sounds of Blackness.
yeah, and the band isn't right there with the group when they're doing the rap. They've got a
Oh, no, no,
board
no. This is
by,
this is not a rap group. Sounds of Blackness, they were a singing group,
okay,
but
well, singing,
for
that's
music,
different.
Right, their music was about uplifting, and the reason why they're singing about uplifting music because they were former, like, addicts, whether it's
I got
or
that.
whatever. But to your point, a lot of times the artists nowadays don't know how to play an instrument. But the producers who are producing it, even though it's not a band, sometimes they use a band, but when you talk about the engineers and the producers, they come from a background of playing instruments. So they're producing these songs for the artists, which is why a lot of times they make more money than the artists do. But when you have an artist, let's say Alicia Keys, she's a singer.
Oh yeah, he's a singer. Yes,
And she plays the piano. I'm trying to think if they're a rapper that plays instrument.
and Beyonce can sing and dance,
Yeah,
and so Rihanna and
but
the whole
Rihanna
bag.
doesn't play an instrument, but I'm trying to think, has there ever been a rapper that knows how? Probably one of the Outcast members, but they don't. Their main thing is not so much an instrument. I get what you're saying as far as creating a song, but it is poetry. But music could be poetic as well.
Well, music is generally poetic. It usually rhymes, so that in our culture means it's poetry. But see, you also have rappers that most people don't even realize rap. You've got all the way from Louis Satchmo Armstrong puts down his trumpet
Mhm.
and starts launching into lyrics that aren't really song, they're raps. And you've got 50 years ago, you've got Gil Scott Heron and the Jazz
Mhm, mhm.
Messengers and so on. And they did that. They played the instruments and they also had something to convey.
Right.
You've got War, and War did their thing too, where they had a message in there,
Mhm, mhm.
and they were all musicians, so they can be both. But nowadays, everybody just wants instant gratification. I've got rhymes, and there's the late Biggie Smalls used to talk about. He'd move some grams so he could finance getting his rhymes put out there, and
I
moving those
didn't know he
grams.
I don't think that
The
was in his
negativistic thing.
lyrics. That was in
What's
another rapper lyric.
hmm?
But well, but I will say this, the earlier stages of hip hop was and were the songs were about a message. It was about upliftment. And then you got into the gangster rap came into play or whatever. So it rap did evolve, hip hop did evolve into something different over time and what we have today, where you have these drill rappers. Um and they talk about nothing but killing and getting back at somebody. And I kind of wanted to touch on, we Memphis, Tennessee deceased rappers. Um, just to
Memphis becoming the murder capital of the country. So
right.
there's
It's funny that, but when we talk
also a music locale too.
right,
Though
like
they don't,
music and killing are starting to intersect.
well, yeah, because the subject matter is street, and to get street cred, you have to be there and you got to act the act. But, I can remember the hell, junior high school, got a job, shot it out, you know, tell your hoodlum friends out the side you ain't got time to take a ride, etc.
Mhm.
And that's a hell of a lot different from what we're getting now. But when I do an analysis, what I see is that part of the toxicity, if you want to talk about it, that goes into rap is not toxic masculinity. It's dealing with the toxicity of feminism. Feminism has insinuated itself around the world so that there is an anti masculine thing that has left a lot of boys and young men, sexually mature males, in a very frustrated position. And all over the world, hip hop gangster rap video sells because it looks hyper masculine. And there is a huge huge thirst around the world amongst young adolescent and then mature males for masculinity. And even though what is portrayed in hip hop gangster rap is far from masculine, it looks that way because they don't get what masculinity is about, that character and that duty and that hardness. And everybody's supposed to be emotional and soft and, superficially hard, but not tough up here.
Mm-hmm.
And what you're getting in the rap, if you're really talking about street cred, is what this guy got put in his subconscious when he was 9 years old by his favorite 13-year-old aunt talking smack about who she's trying to rip off on the opposite sex.
Right.
And if you look at it and you see it, have seen it develop, you say, oh, wow, like, really, young brother, that's what you're getting into? That's not manly, dude. That's like, I knew your great great grandmother. She's still running around. She's a little bad off because she had this problem with coke at one time, but then somebody shot her, but she's still alive and she's younger than me. But as your great great grandmama, I knew her, when I used to represent her. But that sounds more like her than, down masculine guy. And see, Memphis, we had Stax and we had this huge gospel industry around here, and you had Jerry Lee Lewis and, Elvis, and Memphis, the city, even though it's predominantly black, they don't seem to push anything but Elvis these days. They've forgotten Jerry Lee Lewis, even amongst the white side of the thing. And they've got a Stax museum, but they don't push black music.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, city puts its money into everything else but black music. They bring in, now we're getting the second largest black run production studio is coming to Memphis, but I don't see anything relative to pushing a black uplift that comes from that. It's just, as I said, basically nihilistic and negative.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not inspirational. Nobody's being told to, hey man, stay in school. Hey man, get a job. Hey man, take care of your family. Hey man, party when you have the chance. Man, talk about your job. See, it's like, I can remember situations where everybody's grandparents, granddads, great uncles, and dads and uncles, they hung around in the driveway whenever it was a barbecue or a get together, and they bragged about how hard their jobs were, what they were doing, and things that they dealt with, taking care of business. And they talked about their dads and granddads doing the same thing. And I talk about what my dads and granddads did and uncles and all of this. And I listen to these youth now, and it's a total break. It's like we're over here and they're somewhere over there, and they're talking about, thugged out stuff. They don't have any of these stories. We say, hey, man, remember when your old man grabbed you because you broke that window, man? And man, he jacked me up, man. I'll never forget that.
Mm-hmm.
And we brag about these things. And these folks, man, ain't nobody going to touch me, man. Like, well, that's why you act such a damn fool. What do you mean, damn fool? Because, see, you're challenging him. He's got a 45. He's got a 40. He's got a 45. And you going around here acting thug on everybody, and you way overmatched. So, see, you're not even dealing with the realities. You're just going off into fantasy. You can't talk about it because nobody ever snatched you and said, hey, look, boy, this is wrong. This is what you have to do. We brag about it. None of them ever had it happen.
Right. And they don't know how.
Don't know.
Right.
You got mama upset. Don't you be getting me upset. You better not be sitting up in here. Can't you see I got a headache? Well, what the hell? That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the manly recollection of the manly privilege of getting manly training to make us man up.
So
That's what we're talking about.
if the youth had proper man training, maybe the lyrics would be slightly different. So
Lot different.
a lot, even if you are talking about if you were running the streets or whatever, or whatever, your approach to it would be different when you talk, when you like Jay-Z, his lyrics when he was putting out albums, it's totally different from an artist today. Two different times, but the fact is that his music is evergreen. Today artists is not. You forget about them 6 months. We're not going to look back and say, "Oh, Chief Keef, that was a classic," or something like that. So, and the point that I'm trying to make here is, even though yes, Jay-Z, he did sell drugs at one point in his life or whatever, but that generation of men, of boys, probably was kind of the last of manhood, having it embedded in you, or trained what is manhood. Even though you may sometimes make the wrong decision and go down the wrong path, you know how to turn it back around to get yourself back on track. That's part of knowing what manhood is about, as opposed to today, the younger people, they're going down a wrong path. They have no direction, no guidance into how to get back on that right path because they lack the direction and stability of manhood. They don't have it. So I think that's a difference too. Whereas no matter what you did at what point in life, because we all make mistakes, real men know how to turn their life around and get stuff done for himself and his family. To whereas today, if you don't have any type of guidance or direction, which a lot of them don't, you're just going to keep doing the same thing over and over again. That's very destructive, and you're going to end up dead, which is happening.
Yeah, that's very important in terms of a distinction. Another one's kind of hard to explain. I'm going to try and be brief about it. The people of my generation and right below that made it, we used to look down on, very much we look down on what the youth called boule. Wasn't quite the same thing. We had a lot of derision for that. We just called them some punked out suckers that couldn't make it in the world as men because they had to go do what they did, turn booty up, whatever. Not saying that's the thing, but they had to compromise their manhood to get where they wanted to get to. And then we had the thugs that didn't know manhood because they didn't do the things. And I find it interesting that now the thugs try to identify with that mystical organization that comes out of the Mediterranean area. And the truth of the matter is, I know some made men in that organization, and they would kill fools for doing what we have as the ordinary subject of gangster rap in their communities. It's
Mhm.
like, we don't do these things. It's like, these are
Please don't,
not
please don't do
dumb.
that. I and
You
impersonate.
don't do this. What's wrong with these people? They come up with all these confusions, and
Why are you trying to impersonate
you
an
know.
Italian person?
Well, I'm trying to give an idea who I'm talking about without
Okay.
mentioning the name
Oh,
because they don't like to be put in the same sentence with this crap they'd kill you for.
okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
In other words, there, I told you I won't mention it here, but there's a fine restaurant over there in Brooklyn. It's been open a long, long time, and if you go in there, hell, they used it as a set for The Sopranos.
Right.
But you hear them talking about stuff, and the conversations going on around is somebody needs to go talk to these youth for getting out of line. We can't allow it. And when people come there, it's in a seedy area when nobody locks their cars, and you got little old ladies with lots of real bling and ankle length fur coats, and nobody bothers them because it just isn't allowed.
Right.
Now, I don't think any woman with any sanity would come walk in certain areas where, you know, you're supposed to be very conversant with if you have street cred for gangster rap. I don't think any woman would dress like that with any common sense, because somebody's going to take her out. So that makes a big difference.
I want to move on to Lizzo.
Go on, enough on that. I mean,
No, I get what you're saying.
Deal with all of that foolishness, because we need to change it if we're going to get anywhere or back to getting somewhere.
Well, I want to move on to Lizzo. All right. Yes, we must, because it's trending. So Lizzo.
So what if it's trending? Why do we?
Because it's in. Listen.
Why do
Because
we
this is
fall
social
into
media? Why? You know why? Because you know why I have to talk about what's trending? Because you're running for mayor, and
I know, but I don't talk about that. I don't care
we're
what
talking about it today.
do or not. I will with you, but trending for mayor, hey, they just have to get over it. That's not me. I'm trying to do right and lead the people where they need to go.
And we need the young people.
I know, but the young people must deal with the fact that they have obligations, responsibilities, and accountabilities to give them honor. Now, they need to understand that. And that's what a leader does, is he shows and he implements and he says, follow me. This is where we need to go. Not we're going over here just because it's trendy. That's not cool.
Well, no, but that's the reality.
Okay, well, what about the whatever?
Lizzo, we're going to be nice, but Lizzo, she tweeted and is trending and going viral basically. She said, this may be a random time to say this, but it's on my heart. Cancel culture is appropriation. There was a real outrage from truly marginalized people, and now it's become trendy, misused, and misdirected. I hope we can phase out of this and focus our outrage on real problems, right? So what do you think of her basically saying that cancel culture is appropriation? And then I also want to bring up something else with her as well.
You need to put some clothes on before I listen to anything she says. And plus, that's so lightweight. That's been repeated around the social media venues for months now. So, and if you have to get it from, oh God, please, must we?
Okay, so listen. This is what kicked it off. Huh?
I don't want to see that. No.
I cover your eyes because I wanna play it. So I'll just pull this up. Lizzo dresses. She makes white music. Oh, okay. So
and she's undressed like that when she wants to talk about it. Really? Oh, get the hints.
All right, I will wait. Give me a second.
The discourse around bodies is officially tired. The discourse around bodies is tired. I have seen comments go from, oh my gosh, I liked you when you were thick, why'd you lose weight? To, oh my gosh, why'd you get a BBL? I liked your body before. To, oh my gosh, you're so big. Ooh, you need to lose weight, but for your health. To, oh my gosh, you're so little. You need to get ass or titties or something. To, oh my gosh, why did she get all that work done? It's just too much work. Are we okay? Do you see the delusion? Do we realize that artists are not here to fit into your beauty standards? Artists are here to make art. And this body is art. And I'm going to do whatever I want with this body. I wish that comments costed y'all money so we can see how much time we are fucking wasting on the wrong thing. Can we leave that shit back there, please? The discourse around bodies is officially tired. The discourse.
So
Yes, what?
I think she has a point. It's the discourse around bodies, this cancel culture is appropriation. Do you think that we put too much emphasis on how somebody look? She's
If
comfortable in her
we
skin.
hadn't, let's put it this way: if our ancestors had not, we'd still be looking like chimpanzees or Australopithecines.
She's comfortable in her skin, and I think she's just tired of
Well,
people.
good for her. I don't want to look at her.
I think she's tired of people like criticizing that her weight. But
Well, then put some clothes on.
so when she was talking about cancel culture being appropriated, I call her a
Part
hypocrite.
of it.
Right. Because you used it to cancel people who were criticizing you when you was twerking with
No, she
that.
used this situation to try to cancel what me and 99 out of every 110 people would find attractive. Okay, fine. So you're trying to cancel it. You're trying to push this feminist thing where there's not supposed to be an attraction between men and women, and you're trying to say objectification of beauty. Well, what the hell? The women, I had a mother-in-law who ran a beauty salon for years and years. An ex-mother-in-law, she's now deceased, but I used to have to run errands and go in there, and you ladies sure enough look at the guys when it comes to physical attractiveness. We do too.
Yes, we do.
And
Especially the young tenders.
so I'm sorry.
Uh-huh.
That's what I get from a lot of young men. They want to confide in me like, is it acceptable? I said, well, do you find it nice looking? No. Well, then don't buy into it.
Mm-hmm.
But what am I going to do? Hey, go find the one that is fine. But I mean, well, look, you can't think of the way life works as this crap they gave you in school where nobody wins, everybody gets a participation ribbon, and you want me to be crude about it?
Right. Everybody objectifies
I
people.
just said, look, do you want a woman where everybody gets to participate in the pussy? No. Damn, you got to win that.
That's a good one. Wait, say that again.
I said, do you want a participation ribbon where everybody gets to participate in the pussy? No, you got to win that, so that's yours. Go after it.
First of all, I'm going to use that. Thank you.
Welcome to it.
Listen.
I'm running for mayor. I'm not supposed to think that way, but that's the reality. You need one that can. And I'm not in one of these church environments or ladies' tea, where you.
Right. Right. All right. One last thing.
I mean, it's crude, but it's real.
That's a reality check. One last thing, because I know it's like pulling teeth. I really appreciate you wanting to come on to, talk about, first of all, Gangsta Boo, and thank you for staying to talk about these extra 2 topics that I wanted to bring up, right?
We're talking about Prince Harry.
Yes, honey. Messy. And I may get this damn book, The Spare, honey. So The Spare is a forthcoming memoir by Prince Harry, Duke of Sussex, which is due to be released January the 10th, 2023. He has said, I'm writing this not as the prince I was born, but as a man I have become. I have worn many hats over the years, both literally and figuratively. And my hope is that in telling my story, the highs, the lows, the mistakes, the lessons learned, I can help show that no matter where we come from, we have more in common than we think. Ooh, honey. So I want to play a couple of clips from his 60-minute interview, honey. First of all, I believe Meghan Markle is a witch. That's my own opinion. I'm not saying she is. It's just my opinion. I am entitled to opinion, right? Without someone sending a cease and desist. I think she got him under a spell. You think she has him under a specific type of spell, right?
I was thinking, I mean, she's not a bad looking woman, but I mean, damn,
I'm
you
not
gonna
giving
give up
up.
all that? I mean, your ancestors, William the Conqueror, William the Bastard, Duke of Normandy, and Richard the Lionhearted, and Edward I and Edward III, and the Black Prince, and you deal with, Henry the Fifth and Henry the Eighth and all of this, that, and the other, and
I'm not giving
you
none of
let
that
this.
up.
I mean, what's wrong with you?
I'm not
And then
giving
you
it
gonna
up.
tell on your royal family. Oh man, that's
Ooh,
wow.
yes. So he's having his time in the sun right now. So the Royal sold 60 Minutes. Anderson Cooper interviewed Prince Harry. I'm gonna play 4 quick clips.
Oh, Anderson Cooper's a jackass.
Well, you know who his mother was, right?
I know. And the other thing, I'm still look. Let me give you this. Trayvon Martin's mother.
Mm-hmm.
I interviewed her several times. She wanted to know why Anderson Cooper asked her to be quiet about one salient fact about her late son's circumstances. You know what he did not want her to talk about?
What?
He didn't want her to mention that Trayvon's ambition was to be a police detective, like his father and grandfather. And
This is what he was interviewing her for 60 Minutes?
yeah, don't mention it. He asked her specifically not to mention that. Low down creep. See, that thing just slanted at the top, spoiled rich kid, never had to work for a damn thing in his life. And that's what he wants to put out there in the public for the Fifth Estate. What's the Fifth Estate? That is those who report reality so that they do that duty.
And 60 Minutes, that's what they're known for.
Can be advised and informed.
Yeah.
So through him, he's along with Crying Negro Network, Don Lemon, I guess.
They always host. Yeah,
from Anderson
he's
Cooper.
part of CNN.
And then they put Van Turner to add the water to it. Crying. Van Jones. Yeah, then we got one here locally too. But anyway.
Oh, all right. Let me just play a couple of clips, right? Because this is him talking about how the family wasn't very welcoming of me.
My lord, here we have the tabloids. You might want to peruse them before breakfast there, so that you can stay on top of the game for the rest of the day. Can you think of what kind of existence these folk have, where they've got flunkies running around putting the papers out and the grapefruit has to be sliced just so, and the spoons down? My lord, if living is to your pleasure, okay, come over here. It is 0.14 centimeters off schedule here in alignment. We must do something about this. Standards to be upheld and all of that,
Yo, you sound good.
Damn.
You're doing good.
Hear that shit? That was ridiculous. I mean, damn.
Okay, so
what the hell? That they read the tabloids. They're laid out for us in the morning.
Honey, you never saw the Netflix show The Crown. I watched all the season. This last season about Diana, that was kind of boring. Speaking but that's when he said they laid out the tabloids. They did that in the series. That's true. They lay them out when they come down.
Look here. I know some millionaires. They don't even have anybody laying out the damn tabloids. They gotta go.
And this what you gave up.
They wanted to read that garbage.
And this is
look at her. I almost wanted to commit suicide. It was so difficult doing this royal thing. Yeah, I was so happy to open up this new dog treatment center for dogs that have got mental health issues because of the stress of living in an urban environment. God damn.
So
What the hell?
I want to play 2 clips on Diana, and because it's 3 more clips, right? So this is what he said about his mother, like he didn't believe that.
Heads chopped off there. And don't forget, Henry VIII, you know, one of your ancestors, how many of his wives did he have their heads lopped off? And then, you know, your ancestor who does not seem to be your ancestor, because perhaps it was the Earl of Warwick rather than Edward II, who had a little taste for other things besides women. And they stuck a red hot poker of his horse, you know, to execute him that way. And then, of course, you know, King Richard de Lionheart, you know, he had his adventures, and that was King John. It was just intolerable. And he provoked Robin Hood, you know, to do his thing. And of course, that is your illustrious ancestor, formerly known as William the Bastard, Duke of Normandy, who became Richard I, King of England, after he had defeated Harold at the Battle of Hastings in 1066. Of course, you know, and he used to have Willie's Whams, where his troopers would seize upon village men, and he would blind and deafen and cut the tongues out and amputate arms and legs on 10 in each village, so the villagers would always be reminded of his awesome might. You know, these things, and let's not get away from the fact that one of your other ancestors before William was a certain Viking, and we saw him in the Vikings as one of the characters, and he was notorious about his executions and such like. Well, of course, and you are all into what you are into because, oh my God, you couldn't accept the fact that someone in your family had been deaded. Oh God, you ought to be used to it by now.
Well, well
Hmm.
said. Well said. All right. This clip is he saying that Diana is still alive. Some mess.
I wanted to
I-
see whether it was possible driving at the speed.
Oh, yeah. He went to see if it was possible. He drove a car at the same speed of the car of that his mom was in. Like he reenacted the car accident.
Okay, so he couldn't accept it. All right.
That Henry Paul was.
You
Shoulda-
better get used to it in case they get a rebellion over there in England. Somebody might decide to do a modern day Cromwell on someone.
Well, I don't need to play that
Over.
clip. Yeah. Let's just go straight to this is the one I wanted to hear and see when he was talking about Camilla, because I don't like that bitch. I really don't. But that was, you know, the love of Prince Charles' life. I think.
Who is Camilla?
Okay, let me play this. Oh,
It makes me have, well, you know, Jesus Christ, Earl, it makes me have a greater appreciation for Yankee Doodle and why they was playing it back when in the 1870s and 80s.
well, this is
So
the thing.
it
I believe him with that
there.
because he, you know, he was wondering like all these so-called leaks getting out to the press, saying this, saying that. I believe him when it comes to the stepmom Camilla, right? Because she's always been in the picture. He knows what happened with his father and Diana.
Look.
But I guess, listen, his memoir, I think he was saying, first of all, I'm going to have the last laugh. You're not going to use me.
Look. This is crap that they used to play on sitcoms over here and happened to the idiot at the other end of the hallway in the apartment building you got stuck in for a few months on the way somewhere else in life. I mean, who gives a damn? Oh, I forgot. I forgot.
He gives a damn. He doesn't want to be used.
Do
by
I give a damn about him giving a damn?
I understand that though.
They don't have these dudes going up there mounted on a charger, you know, pull the face mask,
What
the
did they call
shield
that?
down over their
Yeah.
helmets and couch their lance and charge, you know, with the armor jingling and chinking and crap, leading a war. No, that's not what they do anymore. Though some of them seem, well, I'll take that back. Some of them do put on their national uniforms, and most of them seem to have given military service. I'll take that back. Okay.
No, he in the 60
Did
minutes,
he?
he talked about he talked about his military experience. He was like, listen, when he went into the military, he was like, it helped me so much. It gave me purpose because I was serving others. He was trained to be an Apache helicopter pilot. Yeah. He you know, he was like,
I'll take some
went
of
on
that.
missions. He said he went on 2 missions where he had to go in and save people. He wasn't the prince. He was like, you don't get a class pass because you're a prince. No, you have to go through the training and know what the hell to do to be certified as an Apache helicopter pilot. So he does have military background, and
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm not going to take that away from his family, even as
Mhm.
recently as one of the King George bunch. I think it was King George the Sixth.
Mhm.
Served as a turret officer in World War One in a battle where, when the British ships got hit, they tended to disintegrate in a huge explosion, and quite a few thousand English sailors and such lost their lives. And the thing about the Navy is, wherein is in the Army, a lot of the generals are back in the chateau 17, 18, 20 miles from the action.
Mhm.
In the Navy, the admiral, the captain, the commanders, they're all on board the same ship with the rankest rookie seaman. And if the ship blows up, they go down with it too. So
Right.
there is that labeling. So he had an ancestor that was a turret officer
Mhm.
at the Battle of Jutland,
I
May
mean,
1st.
I just think with this whole thing,
So good for the ancestors.
right.
But
I mean, us Americans, you know, we're not, we listen, is it juicy? Is gossip? Because we know we Americans love the tea. But at the same time, you know, underneath all that, I still see him like you are a spoiled royal. I'm
yeah,
not
it
giving
is,
that up.
because here's the difference. In America, the sovereign principle lies in the people.
Right.
In Britain, the sovereign principle lies in that family. See, it's the Royal Navy. The Navy literally belongs to the royal family. The Royal Air Force, RAF, literally belongs to the royal family. Now, the Army doesn't, it belongs to Parliament.
Right. Right.
Different kind of situation.
Right.
But you see, they embody their nation or their empire or commonwealth or whatever in the hell it is degenerated to now.
Mhm.
And it's
Right.
different. So you have all of this in you. And by the way, your children are technically, or were technically, in line for the throne. And it isn't like this hadn't happened before. Queen Charlotte under with King George III, which, by the way, it isn't published much, but that was one of the justifications the Southern Americans had to get away from England.
Oh, because she was black.
1770s, because she was qualified to be
Descent.
one of their slaves if she had.
And when we
And
can't have her black ass with her nappy hair coming over here, ruling over us.
So it is
That's a
the
good
first
connection.
time royal families had to cope with this. It's been 250 years, but they've had to deal with it before.
Right. Well,
And by the way, The Viking that is his ancestor is Rollo.
Okay, yeah.
Rollo is, you remember
I remember
Lothar
from the Viking series.
Lothbrok in Viking?
Mm-hmm.
That brother that was the crazy one,
Mm-hmm.
that is his ancestor.
Oh, okay. All right. So this is the last that I want to share.
And now
Love
I have held my gorge in and I haven't thrown up. So what we have to do, it builds character.
Yes, daily, every Monday through Friday, I post a hashtag love yourself quote in my community section on YouTube, and it's doing very well, right? People love it because they want something positive, you know. And today, top of the week is you, because Sin Brown downtown. This is website, his Cash App, hashtag love yourself. And this is your quote that I got from your Twitter. You said, be careful what you ask for. You might just get it, but it might be your adversaries who really get to use it. So this is the man up moment for you, Judge. So elaborate on that.
Well, you can see it. I have said several times when we've done our thing, be careful what you're trying to get in place. Like this thing where they went after Trump for 2 impeachments. They went after him for something he allegedly did when he was president after he was no longer president. Well, Biden can be gone after for what he did when he was vice president too, under the precedent. Be careful what you ask for. You
Prince
just
Harry.
get it.
The same with Prince Harry, the same with Lizzo. You want to talk about cancel culture appropriation? Well, you've used it and now your adversaries is using it against you, you know? So when we was talking about these hip hop artists, be careful what you ask for. You want the fame and fortune, but you know what comes with that, your adversary is going to use it against you and you end up 6 feet under. So
In
yeah.
other words, what the message is be careful. When you ask for something, if you get it, it becomes a precedent that everybody else can use.
Right.
Now that we've had our morning or early afternoon,
This is not this is mid-afternoon.
Our period afternoon of foolishness.
Oh. Well, no, it wasn't foolish. Okay, maybe the Lizzo and the Prince Harry, but
what do you call it?
The Gangsta Boo wasn't foolish.
Lizzo and
Gangsta
Lizzo
Boo wasn't
really
foolish.
stop trying to beat Gloria out the way she's doing.
Well, Lizzo was
She
foolish.
needs to leave Gloria's niche alone. She needs to stop messing with Gloria.
Who's Gloria? I don't get it.
Madagascar.
Stop. You stop. Not nice.
Hey, and remember in that one part of
Lion King?
series where not Lion King, Madagascar. Remember the lion that was the entertainer and they wound up getting back home by some weird circumstances. And remember the giraffe was in love with Gloria.
This is the first one.
This was the whole series. Who was the giraffe in love with? And remember when she had that fling when they got back over there and the big guy was saying, baby, you so enormous, as they were sitting around in the puddle.
Wait a minute. Let me see. Let me see here. What you talking about?
Gloria, Madagascar. Madagascar.
Let's see. Which one?
See the giraffe?
Yes.
Giraffe. That's Gloria.
You are so cruel. That's not nice.
But that's Gloria. You saw that contest they had. Who would look finer, Gloria or Lizzo?
That's not nice.
No, it's not. Put some clothes on. Gloria doesn't wear clothes. You're supposed to.
All right, before we go, so somebody, remember we did the video? Well, it was the 5-minute clip that I posted with you going in on Ellen. It was really supposed to be about DJ Twitch. Oh, honey, you're upset in the comment section at me and one person. So what I was doing, replying, they was like, "Shut up, we want to hear the judge." So I replied with your Cash App link. Then somebody typed, I'm not donating money to that Cash App because it's probably not even real. It's probably a scam. No, bitch.
No, it's real.
Not.
We're trying to get you an opportunity to take your government back because there's some people that have been pimping you badly. And there's some in this game for this election coming up in 2023 who really want to pimp you bad. They want you to get impressed with the fact that they've got some chicken change that they're going to get under the table, maybe a little over the table, and you're supposed to be impressed. But if you really want to get an opportunity to make something big for yourself, start making where you live a better, bigger place rather than keeping a little penny ante second rate down by a muddy river where other people get to control it besides you.
Exactly.
Cash App, Money Judge Joe Brown 2023.
Exactly.
Or jjb2023.com. Take your town back, send me downtown to do it. It's amazing some of the commentary people get. Like there was one today saying, I'm opinionated. They didn't think I would be fair. And the point they were trying to push was, I'm saying certain things are wrong and should not be done, even if people have a right to do them. See, in our system, you can do wrong legally, but you shouldn't because it's licensed to do them rather than exercising free choice responsibly.
I think this is good. Maybe we could do this tomorrow, Wednesday. But of course, it won't be about entertainment. If you want to do a pre-record, however, we're definitely doing Man Up Thursday. I think this Thursday is going to have to be live because I wanted to bring back on the woman whose husband got locked up via DNA, and the lawyer. Her lawyer, he's only available 7:30, 8 p.m. at night. So hopefully, we just do a live show Thursday. Check your calendar. But anyway, thank you, Judge. Appreciate you.
2 thumbs up.
2 thumbs up.
Thumbs up. You can go.
Oh,
here you go.
Thumbs up. 2 thumbs up. 2 thumbs up. Exactly. All right, Judge. I'll give you.
There you go. If you want to do it fast, 2 thumbs up.
I did it fast too.
Thumbs up.
Are you going to be busy later on?
I have some writing to do.
Okay. Well, no Twitter space because we're doing this, and no Twitter space tonight. Maybe we do Twitter space tomorrow. I don't know. Well, anyway, we're still live, but I'll give you a call in a little bit.
And with apologies to the sensibilities of the delicate, sometimes you got to do that. I'm sorry. I think the Prince been P-whooped.
You can say it.
I was trying to be trendy. Remember P-Valley?
Yeah, being trendy is actually saying it.
I know.
You said it earlier in the show.
I know, but remember P-Valley? They don't say Pussy Valley. They say P-Valley.
They say Pussy Valley in the show.
I know.
I love that show.
I can't stand it because I represent a lot of the prototypes for those girls.
They represent exactly what is going on in those strip clubs and the lives.
It's not exactly what's going on in those strip clubs. It's a lot more sordid than they portray. But what is going on, the most accurate thing is that manager in his relationship with some of the customers. That went on a bit too.
You mean his relationship with the rapper?
Well, he sometimes
That's factual in real
he
life.
sometimes gets attracted to a customer, and they do strange things.
Strange. I like the way you put that.
America
Yeah.
got it right.
I mean, some men are more open about sword fighting with someone who has on lipstick. There's nothing wrong with that. Live your
What
truth.
the hell does that mean?
Live your truth.
Wait a minute. Sword fighting with someone who has on lipstick? What the hell is
A
that?
man who likes to date a transgender woman. Duh.
Oh, that's just punked out.
Sword fighting with someone who's wearing lipstick.
Oh, that's just punked out. Oh, come
Live your truth. Live your truth. Because a lot of men back in the day.
That's so weird. If the guy is gay and he wants a guy, then go for it. But
No, he wants,
the
but the
dressed
fact
up
that
like
they
a
live their
girl?
life as a woman, some men are attracted to that.
That's like Milk Yogurt talking about he likes women with pussy, tits, and tits and pussy. What the hell? Dick, pussy, tits, and dick? What the hell? That's not a woman. What the hell's wrong with you? You're gay. That's your business. Go for it. But don't try to clean it up.
And on that note, we're going to say good evening, everybody, and we will see you on Man Up Thursday.
All right.
I am going to try
I gotta go. I gotta get out of here, and I'm on the go.
Bye. Oh, I always drop them off. Sorry. All right, guys. Thank you so much. This was a impromptu, quick recorded show. RIP to Gangsta Boo. Her funeral is this Saturday, and they're going to have a celebration for the public Friday. So you live in Memphis or near Memphis, go and pay your respects to Gangsta Boo. I will see you guys later on in the week. Have a good one. Bye.
Don't judge him, Joe Brown.